You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 17th meeting of the Michigan City Urban Enterprise Association. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, I call the March 17, 2025, 6 p.m. Board of Directors, Michigan City Urban Enterprise meeting to order. I start with the roll call. Nick Pollock.
Present.
Dakota Euler.
Present.
Joseph Nelson.
Present.
Bruce.
Present.
Sylvia.
Present.
Antonio Conley.
Present.
Miss Willis.
Present.
And the chair is present as well. I'll start off with, is there any amendments to the agenda?
I have some amendments to the agenda for, I guess we can do it right at before or during new business. So during new business, I would like to what I want to call it. I want to add the community outreach initiatives for the urban enterprise move forward for this year as prepared by our executive assistant, our vice president, and this guy here, which consists of the board because the president appointed us to community outreach. That's that. So community outreach. And then the next one is a application that was left off. What is the name of it?
No, we got a presentation.
Yeah, presentation.
From Pastor Hurt.
We have a presentation from Pastor Hurt to present, and that can also go into new business.
Would you mind if I ask that we put the presentation from Pastor Hurt underneath the executive assistant report, underneath the Circle of Friends business grant that we moved up in the agenda?
Of course. So I'll restate that. I would like to amend the agenda to add Pastor Hurt's presentation under the executive assistant report, Roman numeral number 3, and add the proposed community initiatives for the Urban Enterprise Association under the 5th Roman numeral new business.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Open the floor for any discussion. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I'll go down to approval of minutes. The February 17 meeting minutes were not ready yet, so they'll be ready for the next meeting. So do I have a motion to table the February 17 meeting minutes?
I move that we table the February 17th minutes to our April meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I'll open the floor for any discussion. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. The February 17 meeting minutes are tabled. We'll go down to executive system report, and we'll start off with Circle of Friends business grants. Since we have a new process in place, I will open the floor first to the executive system regarding the application of the Circle of Friends business grant. Then I'll open up the floor to the business owner to elaborate on her project. Then I'll allow each board member opportunity to ask any questions that they may have.
Okay, so we received a application for the Circle of Friends. It's in the application is in the board packet. They are looking to get, looks like siding. They did submit 2 different quotes. Looks like possible roof replacement and gutters. We did receive the before picture. I didn't include like all of that in the board packets, but I do have a copy here if anybody wanted to see that. We also received the business registration. So it looks like everything that we need is here, and looks like she's filled out everything as it should be, and I think looks like a good investment.
Okay, glad to take this.
I'll start off first. Any questions for the executive assistant?
Is this carried over from last year?
No, she received a grant last year, and she reapplied this year for another for a separate grant.
Oh, right now.
And just for verification for board purposes, she is allotted to do just that. No, for
I
just
got you.
everybody, that it, there is nothing that stipulates in our application that they can't.
No.
Bylaws.
Any questions from the board for the executive assistant? Hearing none.
I think, hold on.
Oh, my bad. I didn't.
So I'm trying to get myself familiar here. She did receive a grant in '24,
Yes.
and we paid that out,
Yes.
correct? Because I have pulled up the quotes from that grant, and it's the same exact ones that are right here. These are dated for October 2nd of '24. So from what I can see, it looks like we're doing the project twice.
I'm sorry, I did have dental work done, so, the roof was replaced in 2024, the siding is a new project. They did it in a different phase 1, phase 2.
Okay. So then just this year would be for just the siding?
The siding, gutters, and possibly
Okay.
windows.
Okay.
What did we pay for last year?
Last year was for the roof, correct?
Yeah,
And this
sorry,
year's for
I
the
said-
siding, roof, and gutters, correct? I'm just always clear with it.
Siding, windows, and gutters.
And gutters.
How about we let her present her presentation and then we'll be able to. The question was for executive assistants, if you had any questions for her.
So all I asked was if she received the grant last year. Do you want to see it?
I'll turn the floor over to you. I apologize.
So basically, this year's grant is just to update, the siding, the gutters and possibly the windows, just to get the updated cosmetic, to match the inside. I do have pictures of the inside. Yes, I do. And that's the inside of the business. That's the old roof on that picture.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying.
You have anything else? I will open up the floor for any questions for the applicant. I'll start off at this end with Ms. Willis.
If you could skip me, no, I may have a question.
I'll come back to you. I'll turn the floor over to Mr. Conley.
Thank you.
I don't really have many questions. I think presenting a good project to be done.
Okay, I'll turn the floor over to Ms. Collins.
Martin, but it's okay. How much was the work from last year? A total for the work that was done. It was the roof, you said?
Yeah, I can pull it up on the email, that I sent you guys.
Oh, yeah, no online application is for all new people.
Thank you, sir.
So the total work that was done, that was paid, was $8,113.46.
Okay, and that was the roof?
Yes.
Actually, you have a question.
7,500.
Okay. You said that the grant would be for siding, gutters, and possibly windows, correct? Okay. So the project description says new siding, exterior doors, and gutters.
Essentially.
So which three things are going to be included specifically? So the exterior doors need to be replaced as well, so all of these are gonna be included?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I forgot about the doors.
okay, all right, just wanted to clear that up, okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So your original project, it was only for, that was your roof. And so this portion of the project is only for your siding, doors,
Gutters.
Gutters
And windows.
and windows.
and okay.
So they originally gave me the quote, for everything.
Yes, I see that.
But they couldn't get the siding. The siding was on back order, so, they went ahead and did the roof. By the time the siding was gonna get here, we was already into
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it went.
Yeah, I remember, we had conversation about it. And how much is her, I can't find nothing here. Okay,
The total.
yep, I see it.
You see it?
Yeah. Okay, that's all I had. I just wanted to know.
I'll pass it down to Bruce.
I just, a couple questions. It looks like it's pretty full. In other words, it's an ongoing business. You have a regular flow of customers or clients.
Yes, I have 26 children enrolled and 1 employee.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're licensed with the state of Indiana.
Yes.
My wife used to do daycare, that's why I know that. That's all I had. Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
And she's validated and permitted.
I'll turn the floor over to Dakota.
I don't have any questions.
Nick?
No, I think everything I was gonna ask has already been asked.
I only have, I'm sorry, you was done?
Nope, I'm done.
I only have 3 questions. The first would be, how long has the business been an urban enterprise?
I'm actually approaching my 5-year anniversary in May.
Congratulations. Second question I'll ask is, how did you first hear about the grant?
Rodney McCormick,
A board member?
I think he was at the time.
Yeah. And the final question is kind of like an ask. Pending it leaving here today, can we ask that you help us promote the program? We're trying to rebrand and get it out there to the community. You know, homeowners and residents in the zone, we just ask that you spread the word about the urban enterprise here today. I want to thank you for coming in and speaking today. Thank you for participating last year, and thank you for this year. And now I will open up the floor. Do we have a motion to the Circle of Friends business grant?
Motion to approve.
I have a
Second.
motion. I have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Full amount, 7,500.
That's was it for the full 7,500? Motion to approve.
Well, I get what you're saying. And I also get what your question was because of the 50%. However, that wasn't stipulated last year. It just became part of this application. That's why I was gonna let you know. I knew what you were informing. So based upon our application, she is over 50%. So her work is $1,200. so we can allot her the $7,500 because her estimate projection is between $12,000 and $15,000. If we give the average, it's definitely more than 50% of the total price, which means she would definitely qualify for the $7,500 full business grant.
So, just for clarification, your motion is to approve the Circle of Friends business grant for $7,500, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I have a second to that effect.
Sure do.
And the floor was open to discussion. Was there any more discussion?
Nick, you and I had a conversation about that our budget seems to be sort of cut in half. I'm just sharing with you, my instinct is she's here, she submitted it, and that we don't hold back. You and I talked about that as a possibility to propose to the UEA. My sensibility is she's here, she submitted the paperwork.
Her timing's impeccable.
Okay, well
Because
said.
we may have to have a discussion about the budget, but since this is first on the agenda, we'll go ahead and address this first.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. Thank you.
And can I also ask that once, all of the work is done, can we get pictures and things of that nature and maybe coming out to different events and activities that we have this year, talking to people and letting them know how we impacted you over the last 2 years?
Of course.
I truly appreciate that.
One last question, so is it for homeowners and business owners?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I have people in that area. Okay.
Your home is in the urban enterprise.
It is.
Yeah, your home is.
Oh,
Yeah. I'll message you. Because you guys got another business and so
that's good to know.
the shop, right?
Noble cause, taking care of kids.
Thank
I
you.
promise.
We'll move on. Thank you. You are good to go. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
We'll move on down next to the agenda. I turn the floor over to Pastor Hurd in the Garden Project.
Good afternoon, everyone. We've been trying to get this thing taken care of. I've been to the board before, but I've got Mr. Dan Beatty here, is the construction manager, and project manager, he can give you all the information that you need. I'm barely talking, so I'll let him have it, so I won't lose all of me.
Well, good evening. My name's Dan Bigg, and I'm here tonight to share details about an exciting garden project that is underway on the west side of Michigan City, on the corner of Grant and 10th Street. And I'd like to start out by saying that this project and idea was from Pastor Hurd. And the reason I'm involved in it is because of him. It's his idea, his passion, and relentless commitment to the folks that live on the west side. That's why I'm involved, and thank you very much. I'd like to share with you before we talk about our project, I'd like for you to see the project in LaPorte and 4 or 5 pictures, and we'll talk about it. The first one is that building on Brighton Street in LaPorte. That looks pretty mundane, but if you go past our garden project, you will see that exact building standing there. It's already built. And the second one is an aerial view that we did with the drone, and it shows all of those are concrete, each one of those boxes, and they are dedicated. People sign up for them, and they have them throughout the summer, and it's a tremendous program. It's very interactive and very successful. Then the next one is a side view. You pull up from the side, everything's concrete, it's ADA, handicap accessible, all the way through the gardens. Then the fourth one, there's another shot, a little aerial shot of the gardens. And you can see, I don't know, they're 40, some of them are 60 foot long. It's all fenced in, and all of the people that have the gardens have a key to get in because it is locked, and you have access to that 7 days a week. And so the next one, another shot of the gardens from up a little bit. You can see there's plenty of room to walk in between, and you can see the fence. That's the last shot of the gardens, and I think we've got one more. Yeah. On the side, there's a vineyard, and they're growing grapes on just outside of it. And so Pastor Hurt said to me, well, what do you think about that? And I said, you know what? We don't have to be the smartest people on earth, but if we just be a good copycat, I believe we will hit a home run and it will be very successful. Having said that, if you like those pictures, if we turn over here, you will see the drawing. We use the same design, the same contractors, and some of the same board members are all in there. The building is at top. You'll see gardens. You'll see community beds. You'll see ADA acceptable beds. But pay attention to the far left where it shows a greenhouse. That is what we're taking our program to another level, because the one in LaPorte is about 5 months of the year. With us having a greenhouse, we're able to make that 9 or 10 months a year. And they're going to be available for kids. We're going to have programs for kids, adults, and for seniors. And then on the top left, you'll see there's a fruit farm. That's what we're going to have. We're going to go fruits, vegetables, we'll have flowers. It'll be very interactive, and it will be first class, and we are not cutting any corners. It will be a beautiful thing. Actually, when we're building the first building in the fall, it was interesting. The number of people and residents were coming out. Well, what's this for? What's that for? Whatever. When they found out it was for them, they got really excited. So we had that. Now we'll look at our budget board that is right here. As you can see, we projected a 2-year program. We're 6 months into it now. We're in the middle of phase 2, fundraising and construction. And we will be moving forward this summer. So far, our donations, as you can see, we need $213,500. Well, we got a first donation from a foundation for $28,000. Then NIPSCO jumped in and gave us $25,000 more. And then Mayor Angie did a match, and that's another $25,000. Global Engineering came in and did all the survey work free. And thanks to Mr. Pollack here, the Carpenters Union are going to go and build the inside of that building. And the Unity Foundation has agreed to support us every year for an ongoing basis for supplies, staff, and all of that. So as of right now, I feel pretty good about that. We've got a long way to go, but so far we're batting 1,000. And it'll be a great project. I had a program at Chicago Public Schools years ago, and it made this magazine, and you can pass this around if you'd like. It's here and there, but if you see all of these kids who learn to grow things for the very first time in their school, that program is going to be at this program. Mm-hmm. And as far as a greenhouse, it's this greenhouse. And that's a picture of it on the left. So, again, our project estimate, $213,500, donation $78. So we need $135,500. We don't have to get that and certainly don't expect to all in one spot. But if we could find somebody that could give us $74,000, we would be able to order the greenhouse, and it takes about 5 months to build. It's a custom thing, and that would put us really over the top. We would have no problem finishing else. But so we need 135. We've raised 35% of the money so far. And we're really, really excited about this project. And so you know, I've agreed to supervise the program for a 2-year period to get it off the ground. And that means every month we will have companies come in and give seminars, soils, seeds, flowers, fruit, whatever. It's not only education for the kids, but it's education for everybody else too. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to take them.
I'll turn the floor over to anybody from the board that would like to ask any questions.
I may have missed something. How much are you hoping that the UEA could provide on this?
Okay,
How much are you trying to, hoping that the UEA can provide for you? I know you mentioned 75,000. How much are you hoping to get from the UEA?
Whatever you can. I'm saying if we had 74,000, if we did, we could order the greenhouse. Yes, yeah. We need 135 total. Also, I've worked for 25 years with the Indianapolis Colts. They are going to be involved in helping me do some fundraising for this project.
So basically whatever you can get. So I got a question. How much, I see we got, looks about 6 community beds right there. My question is, how much is one single community bed?
You say how much is one single, you talking the price or the length?
The price. The price for it.
Of one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just one concrete bed.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Pollack, help. No.
Something like that, I mean.
Well, by just looking at that, there's a whole lot more that goes in there. Okay, you need the soil underneath, you get concrete, but underneath there's got to be a drain, there's got to be water. It's just not
It's hard to break it out.
Just a little concrete bed.
I got you. The reason I was asking, I like the idea and the concept of a community bed. So the thought that rose in my head was opportunity. I don't know if it's gonna be at the pleasure of the board wants to do, but I've kind of like the idea if we sponsor the community bed, I want to know like what would be the cost of that, or depending on the cost, we sponsor 2 community beds for the project. Just since you said that we're willing to take anything, and I don't know what the board's appetite for was. I think it's a great project. It's in the urban enterprise. I know there's a food desert on that side of town. I live on that side. There's a food desert. And I think this is a great opportunity to get back into the community. So I was just trying to get an idea of a price for something like that if we were going to do something for this project.
Well, I can say this, we would be open to any different kind. We're just getting into the summer part of it. Mm-hmm. People wanting to sponsor this or wanting that. What I shy away from, it's like at some of the ball fields they have all these banners here, and then the next year people don't donate, and then we have to take all of those down. I would say there would be a way for donors. Actually, it might be in one of the gardens. I've done one before. If you were 3 levels of sponsors, we actually put a brick in your name in the sidewalk, and that was very successful.
So I have a question. It's more of an environmental thing. Are they regular concrete or are they impervious? Because that is also I highly flooding area. And I know the garden is going to cut down on the flooding, but have we thought about incorporating impervious concrete versus,
Their concrete, I can tell that there's a lot of gardens that they're framed in wood.
yes.
And I don't like that because they frame it in treated lumber. Mr. Pollock can tell you about that. And that leaches back into what you're trying to grow. But we've had no problem with, and these folks in
The
LaPorte.
bottom will be open, so
Okay.
it's just gonna be the sides that are concrete, so there'll still be drainage.
Okay. I thought it was, because when I hear raised bed, because that's what, they're considered, I'm thinking of a off the ground, not infiltrating the groundwater and things of that nature. So
Well, I
I
mean-
presumed it was closed, but he answered it. That if it's open, it's not that much of a
Well-
big deal because the garden itself will infiltrate a lot of the water, but with the concrete being closed, that would cut off some of the environmental impact. So I think that's a good
A
thing.
big part of the design problem is, or a part, if on the bottom, when you see those butterfly and hummingbird gardens, there's a little slope. We're gonna dig a dry well so that water does not pond and doesn't set. It goes into the beds, it goes through the plants, but it doesn't sit there.
Oh, well, ultimately, the garden itself is a great stormwater retention, area. But if it was closed at the bottom, that would cause overflow, saturate the ground, and the chemicals from off of it will filter into the groundwater. It's my environmental nerdy thing going
Yes.
on. Sorry.
She is going deep.
I didn't know there's that many types of concrete.
Yeah, there's impervious concrete. It's a lot more expensive, but
There'll be no leaching of the water off of this property onto somebody else.
oh, I know Mr. Hurd wouldn't let that happen. I know that for a fact.
I don't have a question, I have a couple comments. The pictures that we saw do that garden no justice. Pastor Laux has a passion about the same thing, and that garden is amazing. If you get a chance to go to LaPorte, I highly recommend going and looking at it. I've been talking to Pastor Hurt for probably almost 2 years?
Yes.
Almost 2 years about this project now. He's very passionate about making this happen.
Yes.
Tristan, you already said it. It's a food desert over there. I think this is a great thing. I think this is something that the neighborhood needs, not only for the food that they can grow, but the educational purposes. So I'm happy to be a part of it. I will help out however I can in my spare time. And because I am involved in this project, I'm going to abstain from any votes.
Can we still ask you some questions?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I just wanted to add, I thought maybe you, the members were familiar with, I know that there is a thriving neighborhood garden on the east side and has been for the last 8 years. This is actually our 8th growing season, and we do have our raised beds. We are actually implementing some of the things that you're trying to implement on the with the new garden. So if you would like to come and take a look at what we're going to be doing for this upcoming growing season, I invite you to do so.
Thank you.
There's a great little food pantry over there too.
There sure is.
You had something to do with that too?
I put it in.
He put it in.
Do everything.
Yeah.
So my ultimate question, as far as this is mostly to the board, as far as budgeting, what do you guys? We need to take that into consideration as well, and that can be on the conversation. But ultimately, that will lead us to understanding where we are and what we can do.
And that was and this is probably the best time to bring it up, that our budget is basically half what we thought it was. And so just consistent with your comments, my sensibility is that we try to ask all the questions, and I happen to like it too, but that we table actually making a decision until we tackle the big stinky elephant in the room and figure out what we do about the fact that our budget is half of what we thought it was.
Yeah, so we found out that one of our taxable properties, they are not making a payment as large as we thought this year. So we're kind of waiting to hear back on what our actual numbers are gonna be.
I know, that's why these initiatives came about, because
So
we need to get out there.
Kind of what I was thinking along the lines of the grants is, we have a neighborhood beautification grant that we implemented, but you also have a church, correct? That sits on that property. So I think that will make a big difference on which way we go for the size of the grant that we were to give. So I would say if you're doing it through the church, you're gonna have more opportunity for a larger grant, as opposed to just doing a neighborhood beautification.
Okay. I thought you couldn't do a church.
You saying like apply for through a business grant? The churches
aren't.
Because that's why I was kind of thinking. I mean, it's just kind of my thought. Like as we said it through the process, that's why I was kind of asking about purchasing the community, like we did as a sponsorship opportunity. I mean, because our neighborhood beautification grant is $500. So I just feel like the project, the scope, the project, and what it's geared toward, and how much it can benefit a truly an area in the urban enterprise. I think I wouldn't. I'm not saying that. I would be for. This is just me personally. I would be for more than even how much we give for our business grant with the $7,500. I know we got some budget issues that we need to work out and figure out, but I think that this is kind of even more important than what we do for the residential and the business, because it's going to affect the whole community as a whole completely. Kind of what our object and goal is of urban enterprise, making it better. And I think this is a great project for it. So I mean, I think this is something we can hold off and table. We could table.
Well, I have a suggestion, Mr. President.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But as we know, us being the Urban Enterprise Association, there are things and initiatives that we can fund outside of our grant program, because a portion of our activities need to impact the neighborhood. And each year we not outside of the giving out the funds that they get from this initiative, we're supposed to have an initiative ourselves. But not only are we supposed to have an initiative ourselves, the businesses that receive the tax credit are supposed to have initiative of themselves. So what I would propose is that you give us some opportunity to kind of ponder our connection pieces, and that way you will be able to capitalize off a larger amount potentially once we kind of figure out where we stand, because then we can get our businesses and a part of this, because they're by regulation required to invest into a initiative. And if this is something that we consider, then that's something that we can bring to them as well, to maybe even fully funded, I don't know, but they're required. And we're also required to pick a separate one that the board.
So do we have a motion?
Motion to table.
Motion to table.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Was there a set time for how long this was on the table? Was this tabled to the next meeting or
Table to the next meeting.
to the next meeting?
Maybe we get I don't know, an executive session maybe in the in-between time, if possible, if needed.
I think next meeting is fine.
Nick and I were hoping that we could get a meeting with the mayor to have a conversation that could address this too.
Oh, what, the garden?
Yeah, to talk about the budget, and that could help inform what we're talking about. So let's table to the next meeting, and we'll try to get things moving.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Motion passed. It's tabled to the next meeting. Thank you. I'll be in contact with you.
Okay.
I'll call you. Talk to you. I'll call you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your presentation.
Yes.
Very welcome. Have a blessed day. We can be outside. Yeah, we can.
I got it. Just for your hat.
Oh, okay.
I motion for a recess.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll stand adjourned for 5 minutes. We'll call the meeting back to order. We will go down to the executive assistant report. We'll go to the next item, the executive assistant report. Excuse me.
All right, so I did get a couple quotes for some office supplies, filing cabinets. We are required, right, to have locked filing cabinets. So I got a couple quotes from Office Max since we use them for everything else, and like, why not? So do I go through like each? Okay. So a 3-drawer filing cabinet is ranging, looks like about $120. And then a 4-drawer is $169. And then we also need a paper shredder. I'm in like the process of putting a lot of the old files onto hard drives. Then, we're gonna need a way to properly dispose of all those documents. The paper shredder is about $200. Then of course I can have all the receipts and everything. But I need you guys to approve that. And then also, or do I do it one at a time?
You can
Go
go.
on to the banner quotes as well.
I guess
We got to do a separate motion for each.
Got it. Okay.
so. Regarding the office supplies for filing cabinet and paper shredder,
Mhm.
did you say? I'm sorry. Did you say you need hard drives as well, or you have some?
No, I have some. You brought a couple, so hopefully those are fine. If not, I'll let you
Before
know.
we vote, I have a comment, but I want to let you finish.
I'm done.
I have some not terribly attractive old metal filing cabinets. I would be ecstatic to not have them in storage. If it's interesting to the UAA, they're yours. Ours. I should say they're ours.
Okay. Do they lock?
I'll double check, okay?
Yeah, because it has to be locking, correct? Okay.
I got into that when we were talking about the Social Security information and housing and things of that nature, and by regulations that they should be all files with permanent can't say the word, should be locked in a lock. Now it could be a locked door. Right, so it can be behind a locked door, or if the door doesn't lock, then it needs to be in a locked container. So it just needs to be under lock and key.
Well, in fairness, I don't know where the keys are for these. So, I guess it's up to the UAA if the office is locked, if we think that's adequate.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
What files are we maintaining and for how long?
That was what the question I had. Maybe we need to look into or talk to Anthony as far as disposal when we move to the shredding portion, because I know that in some cases you're required to keep certain.
Nonprofits for 7 years, I thought.
Yeah, so you have to
Typically,
keep.
It's 7 years.
Mhm.
Yes.
And the only reason I ask is,
I was gonna say 10.
does it need to be a fire safe filing cabinet?
It just said under locked door, but I can look into it. That'd be.
We could ask Anthony.
That's gonna make a significant difference on the price.
Yeah,
Yes.
these are not fire safe, the ones I have, and I'm
Yes.
guessing the quotes you have are not fire
And let's,
safe.
how about we Google and see and review the policy before we call Anthony.
That's fine.
I know some of the files that are in the office are dated from 2010 to 2013. So I know a lot of them are truly older, and even the newer ones, they still need to be scanned in. And
Yep.
that way we're not just carrying like, everybody's information in like that.
Yeah.
But
Which gets, I'm sorry.
no, I'm sorry, you good. You good.
Which gets the other topic that I know from personal experience. Try to see if there's a shredder that, see, I don't even know what the term is, but you don't want to be like I have to, which is to periodically interrupt the shredding, and no kidding, yank the papers out of there because they get gummed up in the teeth. That's like really not fun.
Right.
I don't know if there's more advanced technology that spares you that, but
It
if you're shredding like 10-year-old files, it's going to take you a lot of time.
Okay.
Just get a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah.
Maybe don't put so many in at one time.
Well, you know,
No, that
periodically, no staples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that nature. But the one we have in office, fine.
So I'm going to make a motion that we table for a month on the filing cabinets, and we can try to determine if we need the fireproof or not. If we decide we don't need the fireproof, and it's okay if they don't individually lock, if we want to, I mean, you can have mine. They're not pretty, but they're functional.
I forgot to print out.
So we got a motion.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? Motion passes. We will hold off on the filing cabinets until the next meeting.
Okay.
We'll go down to the MCAUA banner.
Are we holding off on a paper shredder too?
So what was the quote for the shredder? 200?
200.
Yeah,
something.
but now I need to make sure.
Yeah,
'Cause I was-
gonna be, yeah, especially if you're putting it to work, you want to get something that's gonna last.
Okay.
I was gonna add that when I was working at a bank, they had like a service that, you know, you would
They
put
gonna pick it up.
put it in and they'd pick it
And
up.
They just stop.
That's what they
Yeah,
advised
it's
too.
pricey, but
I don't know.
yeah,
Right.
We only needed
It's
like
pricey.
one.
Yeah, and it's a contract that goes along with it.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So,
Recurrent every month.
yes.
even if you use it or don't.
Correct.
So I don't think that's necessary. I think a simple shredder would be fine. How much was it?
200.
200.
How about I make a motion that we authorize it and we let you use your discretion and you report to us next month. That's my motion.
And we'll get a warranty.
So your motion is to give pre-approval for her to purchase a shredder.
And she uses her judgment in light of what we've all expressed, and then she reports to us next month. That's my motion.
I have a motion to have a second.
I'll second that.
So motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes regarding the shredder. So I just want to make sure. So we giving her the discretion to
Just buy a good shredder.
just buy a good shredder.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
get one. That's,
But we're
efficient.
holding off on the filing cabinets, correct?
Yes.
I was just making sure.
I feel like she should have had that on discretion.
All right. And
That's kind of where I kind of got lost. I'm like, but it's all good.
I think the discretion came from him wanting to get rid of his filing cabinets.
Well, we talked about whether they got to be fireproof or not. So
That's yeah.
Y'all know I'm gonna say it.
that's
Yeah,
what
we got to do a
Yeah.
little research on the file cabinets.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Shredder, absolutely. I think just buy
You know.
something that's good quality. that
It is.
You think's gonna last.
I know we go down to the MCUA banner quotes. I know me, Dakota, and Kamisha had a meeting
Last week.
one of those days last week, and we talked about some community outreach events and opportunities. I know opportunities came about with the mayor's town halls that she's hosting, and be able to set up a table, have an area. We want to be. I know I told her she should look into a quote for a banner, be able to have something to display the urban enterprise and to lure people over to gather information on it. And I believe you got quotes back on it, correct?
yeah, so I kind of did this one. I'm sorry, I forgot to. I could have printed out this flyer that I'm using, but this would be the banner. You can kind of twist it to look at. You can do like a 360.
I've seen it here.
Okay. This, so just the banner, like.
Oh, that's one way. I like it. They call it a tombstone. It's one that you pull up and then it goes down.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Retracting tombstone.
They called it something else. I ain't choosing. Let's see. Yeah, tombstone. Where did it go?
What's the price of it?
You seen it like that? Like how this table,
That's what I wanted. And so I started off like local places. Nobody had that. Nobody makes these like table covered skirts. They only do like the banners. And I feel like sometimes I might be the only one at a lot of the events. I just want something that is easy to pop up, even if it's just me, like something.
Yeah, those are great.
See, the tombstones look like it'd be great to him.
It's called an X banner. I don't. It's
Yeah, 'cause
X
it's-
banner.
It's the poles.
Well, tombstone sounds better.
Like,
Yeah.
no, it
And then you just literally pop it up, bam,
I
pull
use them
down
all
and
the
hook.
time.
Where
That's
did
what
it
they call
go?
So I've seen them at like career day events.
Yeah.
So I've seen like I know what you mean.
And they just stand around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So do you got a price on it?
It is, I believe, 1/3. I don't know where it went, but like $139.
Sounds pretty reasonable. Where was that quote from?
It's Vista. Where did it go? Vista Print.
When is the next mayor's town hall meeting?
The 31st.
I should know that right.
Oh, 2 weeks from today.
My only question would be, Reprographic Arts, do they offer those services or in the zone?
I will double check with them because I did reach out to them to see if they did
The tablecloths?
yeah, and they said no,
No.
they can't do
I
that.
try to get one. Yeah, they don't do them.
Yeah.
Let me work on that. I do a lot of business with a place out of California. I
Okay.
might be able to talk them into doing us a favor.
Yeah. And then also, I love your favors. Also remember, as we come and you bring items, we typically have to have at least 3 quotes to, at least 2 quotes. You saw his finger. Or hey, I couldn't find this quote. Justification for not being able to. That way we can have some options for the board to choose from.
I did reach out to like 3 different places and trying to get the same, and
They
they
get
don't-
3 quotes right there.
yeah, Scotty's,
Yeah, you did your due diligence.
American Signs, and Repo. And then I was like, you know what? Could probably just go.
They're
Yeah.
came back
So
up.
it's slowly coming back up. No, where?
I don't think that price is bad at all for what it is. though.
And I got they did like a flag for me, like one of those really tall and
Yeah, the
It's-
sales flag.
yeah, really tall, really simple, easy to put up and break down.
So can we approve it? Do not exceed $150 excluding shipping and handling costs for the tombstone. When, pending, let you and Nick work through that process. See if you get a better price and try to get that ordered.
So I move that we approve the purchase of the banner, but do not exceed $150 for said banner.
Second.
Okay.
I have a motion in a second. Any discussion?
What?
So wait, what? He
You
might
gonna try
have
to reach
one.
out to his people.
Okay.
If he can't do it, you proceed.
And I still would like to see if Reprographic might be able to do the banner,
Yeah, but
not necessarily the table,
stand.
but at least the banner, because I want to support the
Yeah.
businesses.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that.
So we have a motion to approve the purchase of a banner. Do not exceed $150. Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Okay.
Motion passes. We'll go down to new business. We already did Circle of Friends. I don't know how it ended up there twice. We'll go to Attorney Novak invoices. If you scroll through your packet, you will see there's 3 invoices from Attorney Novak's office regarding billing. If you look at the privileged and confidential section, you'll see from the way it was explained to me via Attorney Novak, there was 2 separate accounts set up for the Michigan City Urban Enterprise. And the issue that came about, well, as it also states on the scan and pay side, it shows the two separate account numbers. The issue that came about was we were only being sent the invoices for the one account after Tommy and Gabrielle were no longer with the board. And part of them going at the end of the year, they looked through and seen that there was still some outstanding invoices. I double checked the email where on the balance due on the one for January 2024, it says $1,402. It's actually only $75 owed regarding that, which comes to the sum total of 75 plus the 100 plus the 400. The total is 575 for the invoices owed to Attorney Novak's firm.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Did he say why we had two accounts?
No.
So was it like their closeout account and then moving into our new? So are they accounts or contracts?
They were filed under the file number for the first account is 2023385, and then the second one, which is the current one, had two extra zeros added onto the account number, so they were showing up as under two separate bins.
But they just technically the same.
But it's all for the same. We are still under the same client number. It's just under two separate accounts. So it was only receiving one for the 001 as opposed to the one with just 00.
Whose fault is that?
I don't know.
Clerical, I guess.
So do we have a motion to pay the invoices owed to Attorney Novak? Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Yeah, this is a gratuitous point that I'm not concerned about with the law firm. If we get an invoice from somebody else that has, I forget what these are called.
QR codes.
Yeah, if it was a different amount and we didn't know these people, I'm suggesting we would not use that because they're so, but I trust them.
The way you've been doing, fill out a check and then I go to get the second signature from Jim. I just take it to the law firm, turn it into them that way. And that's been the way I've been doing it with them. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll go down to
It's technically me, but you can do business applications before I go into
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we go for the.
Sylvia. I'm supposed to be under new business.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wrote it in the wrong spot.
It's okay. I'm gonna go wherever you want me to go.
You can go. I apologize.
Okay, so after having the conversation with Tristan and everybody, and you don't have to, Dakota, because I got you on here. I took your initiative and just put it in a strategic plan. So this is actually where I was going. Dakota had several ideas. So we broke the different things out, and today we wanted to give out take the ideas, create committees, and let the committees implement those ideas, which gives us a holistic approach at tackling community initiatives in the urban enterprise zone. So the first portion is the outreach for businesses. I think that is big because as we just found out, we potentially lost a large business, but when you lose one, you gain two. So I think that we, after talking to the executive assistant, we came up with the idea of a business brunch. So it'll be a business community outreach program where each invite one, bring one. So they are businesses in this neighborhood. So by inviting them, they tell their neighbor business, tell their neighbor business. And then we have this brunch where we talk to them about our different initiatives and kind of reiterate. So not really force upon them, but reiterate the initiatives that they are supposed to be contributing to. Therefore, bringing them in, making them more familiar with us, showing face to face, and then, starting that conversation to see how they're going to finalize compliance with their 2024 grant. And by regulation, and Dan is going through this process to send out a note, they're technically not supposed to be allowed to reapply. But because we are in this new phase and we are losing, we don't want to move into that. So we want to have this brunch to have that business outreach, bring in new businesses and things of that nature. So that is one initiative that can have a committee. Then you have the Michigan City Spring Sweep, Revitalize, Restore, and Reimage. That is the dumpster community outreach program, the cleanup right after spring cleaning, right? So they're gonna have all their stuff out there, and our president thinks that it'll be a good idea to align that initiative with the city, collaborating holistically as one, and give them some backup for after spring cleaning ends, that coming in right after and catching that second wave, so that we'll have a beautiful urban enterprise zone. And lastly was the reimaging, rebranding, and re-exploring urban enterprise association in Michigan City. So those 3 tiers of programs ultimately impact community engagement, business engagement, workforce development, and rebranding. So they're high level. They can, those are just the things that we want to make sure we implement. But the spring cleaning is something that, that's not going to be a month, 6 months away. That's coming. So, kind of moving forward with those different type of initiatives. And it's our president, to appoint his committee for his initiatives.
To piggyback off to the MCUA Spring Clean Sweep, just in the prelims of it, the executive assistant looked and got some quotes from Waste Management. Just kind of didn't try to reinvent the wheel, just use the same idea that the LaPorte UEA uses. And just try to identify some locations throughout the city, throughout the urban enterprise, that we can pose and set these dumpsters up. I kind of had the vision of having three separate spots. That way people in urban enterprise had opportunity, get some volunteers, get 2 volunteers at each location, and get a sign-in sheet for people that's coming using the dumpster. That way we get an idea of
data.
Correct. Correct. Also, the city has some neighborhood beautification funds that they allocated through the ARPA. I figured we could try to work with them, that way we don't bear the whole cost of the project. But this would be a first initial project that we use and make a strong push towards. I mean, we all seen the dumping that went on throughout the city, the trash, and after spring cleanup, people still seem to have the same problem. The urban enterprise areas usually was hit the worst. So, regarding the spring clean, the spring clean sweep, I guess I'll ask this: besides me and the executive assistant, was any volunteers that want to be part of this initiative?
Me.
Volunteer.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, that's. Didn't know everybody's so excited.
Yes.
The idea, goal, and target I have.
Well, I'll let y'all do it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You want me a part of it? You said it was too many?
I mean, if you want, the ideal goal I had for spring cleanup ends May 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So the ideal goal I had was following the week after. That Saturday, let's look for the Saturday to May 9th, try to find 3 ideal locations. Some city properties that we had to use, so we try to get the ball rolling on this sooner than later, especially with this is March, almost the end of March, but we get everything finalized, get everything squared away, and try to get it promoted, get it out there. So I have Councilman Nelson, Mr. Conley, and myself regarding the Spring Clean project. And then, I'm sorry, you said no, then you said yeah again, and Sylvia as well. Always need Sylvia in the place. And then regarding the business brunch, I thought that was a very good idea. I mean, especially with the loss of $60,000 to our grant cycle, to our invoicing cycle, we definitely need to start marketing and get more money out. I figure we'll be able to we can still work through this grant cycle, do community outreach as we've been doing, and also try to lure in and retain more businesses all at one time and make it a community, a group effort. So regarding the business brunch, I figure we could set an idea budget of how much we're looking to spend and send it to committee to come back with the location, and then look at the pursuit, work with Dan. I know speaking with Dan, he has a list of all potential businesses, and he has a list. He has a letter that he used in other UEAs that he said increase business by 25 to 35%. So we can work with Dan towards that, and I also had a conversation with him about the redrawing of the map. I mean, because right now the way the urban enterprise map is drawn, you got neighbors that live in the same neighborhood, one's in urban enterprise, one's not. I figure we can all put a group effort in, everybody throw their hat in the ring and get more done and try to get all these things done and try to revitalize or resave the program. Take initiative. So do I have any volunteers for a business brunch?
I want to do it. Can you? Okay.
So I got Bruce, Sylvia, Nick, and Mr. Conley. He's part of everything.
Mr.
You know, he was already in my mind.
So regarding those three things, I figure I didn't have ideas set.
You got to set your branding committee.
A rebranding committee. I know Dakota has some ideas regarding rebranding committee. Do I have anybody else that would like? I guess I'll ask first. Would you like to be part of the rebranding committee? Do you have any other volunteers to participate with that? With Dakota? Me and Kamisha, we can.
I'll do it with you guys.
We can all set up, try to get some dates set, and moving forward with these three initiatives, and try to really. First thing first, I think the business brunch is going to be real key. We try to get some new business and try to bring in as much money as we can, while also working through our grant cycle, still doing community outreach. I know
we're going to schedule a meeting before we leave.
I know over the weekend, me, Antonio, and Kamisha, we spoke at New Hope Church, and we went to the neighborhood association. I know there's a few other neighborhood associations throughout the city. Just try to get out there and get an opportunity to speak. We had found two people that were eligible. Try to just promote the business as much as we can. I feel that the urban enterprise has went being unknown long enough, and I figure the more we tell other people and get other people involved, the more we can keep the business going and keep it flowing. So I want to thank everybody for volunteering for the committees. Anybody have anything else? Any questions or anything?
I was gonna say Tone scheduled for another church.
Oh yeah, another church this Sunday.
This Sunday, and speak at another church as well. And try to.
What is it?
High
church is called High Praise.
Across the street, actually.
It's right across the street. The church right here, on the corner right here.
I figure
we'll be there 12:30. You coming?
I'm open.
Okay. I figure aiming towards the community outreach, we try to work around the executive assistant's schedule. I know she's been scheduling appointments with people in the office, so I don't want to overburden her, make her work more than she's contracted to work. But I figure we can hit the three neighborhood associations that are inside the zone. We can also hit the churches that are inside the zone. We can try to spread the word as much as possible. We already arranged and spoke in regards to having a table set up at the town hall like the other department heads. So just try to get as many community outreach events that we have. I'm open and available usually during the day. I work overnights besides school. So you might find anything they want to get into, just reach out to her, reach out to me. I have no problem going.
There was the one initiative that I don't know if we got more information on, the mayor's gala, which benefits neighborhoods.
The sponsorships was like $5,000. I don't know everybody else's approach on it, but I thought somebody else can really sponsor that one. I mean, that's just honestly my opinion.
Might as well get him.
Have you talked to her?
Ticket.
She said she might squeeze this in for $1,000. Talk to her.
I reached out to her again, but I wasn't in great support of just the tiers that I had seen originally. That's just me being honest. But I know that the mayor's gala is next month. I don't know if the board wants to maybe purchase a table and everybody go to support and promote the program there as well.
We gotta look at budget.
Definitely.
I think that's the key part, which is probably why you didn't like the tiers. But we need to, especially that reminds me. Are we the company? Did they not apply for the 24 or the 25 grant cycle? Because you're in 25 grant cycle, which is the money that exists now, right? So the money that we have in there was money that goes to this one. The money that we're getting
Correct.
goes to the next one. So
That's a
is
good
this?
point.
Yeah. So
I think I forwarded everybody email I got from Dan regarding this year's billing cycle.
Yeah, so that's 20. That's 20. This year's billing cycle is 26's grant
sure you're in the
cycle
email as
funds.
well.
It's not 25. Grant cycle funds was closed, and anything we collected was 25.
And we set the budget off of what we had or what we were projected.
What we
What we
had.
had.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That might be all right.
Now we. Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, currently, we just currently.
That's why I wanted to ask because you
Make
must.
sure we're good.
You
for
must
next
use
year.
grant cycle funds and grant cycle funds, and it should not be over a certain amount left over, right?
I'll look
So
for the email again, but we probably want to take this up again in April, make sure we know.
no, I know. Because the grant cycle was closed out, we're not receiving any money right now. There's no checks coming in because the grant this is tax season, so it's just like taxes. So this tax season is not for 25, right? This tax season is for 24. So that the grant cycle here. I mean, I went through all this with Dan, so I know for a fact we closed out everything that's in our account that didn't come after October when the grant cycle closed belongs to 24's funds, which is a part of 25's grant cycle. So in 25 grant cycle, the funds that comes from this year, right, that's coming in, that's starting to come in, that he's sending letters out, all those money, which is why it has to be separated. Because technically, that money's supposed to be gone by the time the new grant cycle starts. It's supposed to be invested back into the community, right? So the price he has for right now, the balance he has, and that's what we are programming this year for. The funds that are coming, programs
That's helpful to clarify.
next year. It's just like it's a tax. It's a tax incentive. Like this year, I'm filing for my taxes, right? But I ain't filing for 25. I'm filing for 24. And in 24, in 25, you file for,
So that was projected out for monies to be collected
Yes.
next year off of 2025.
Yes, that's 2025's grant tax season, but 26 is grant cycle. So they're different. The grant cycle and the grant, the grant tax cycle, right? So, but you can clarify with Dan, but I'm telling you.
I know. Also, speaking with Dakota, he had an idea regarding some funds we received for. The incoming invoice and billing the funds that we receive, we place those in a
See if we can.
correct, because it has to be new money has to be placed. So we couldn't use the money that we have already in the account. We use the new funds that come in to bear interest and make money off of going in. So I just want something I want to bring up. That was a piece that came from our last meeting. We had the conversation. But I also know Dan. Speaking with Dan, he was going to reach out to the company that didn't take it for last. If I'm saying it right, didn't take it for last year, and see if maybe they filed for the wrong deduction and try to help them rectify the situation, because it didn't make sense to him why they wouldn't choose it again. And they had been taking it every year prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be investigating and working towards that, and he's going to try to reach back out with an answer as soon as possible. And he was going to be sending out the invoices for this year within this week. Everything will be sent out. We start receiving payments.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tristan, if I'm not mistaken, we haven't gotten any payments,
Payments aren't due to June 1st.
which means the money coming in after June 1st goes towards the next.
Okay, so that was a question I had pertaining to this company brunch that we set up. When would be a good time to set it up? Like after that date or prior to that date?
Right now, because
Yeah,
they're
prior
in
to
tax.
the date, right?
Yeah,
So
they're in tax
if we're trying
season.
to entice new companies to apply for the tax credit, we want to do it before that date, correct?
Yes.
And you
Yes.
said that date was July 1st?
June.
June.
1st?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah, so that's not that far, but
No.
keep in mind we want that's why we set up committees so we can divide and conquer. Right, and even though me and Tristan technically have to ad hoc be on all these different communities, he can shift off and we can still accomplish these same goals for as far as the brunch and things of that nature. It is, we can come back with a plan next month, or we can email a plan that can be reviewed and ready for suggestions, approval, and things of that nature by,
That's better because it's really short time.
Yes. So, because if we wait, and then the same thing with the spring cleanup. Spring cleanup is coming as well, but these are hard-hitting initiatives that will have direct impact that's tangible, that these people will be able to see our contribution to their communities. These are initiatives that we're not asking them for anything. It's what we're giving to them. So, yeah. I think this is way more than important than the branding portion. To be quite honest, we need to prioritize, and not saying that we don't need to rebrand, because it can happen all as everything is going on. But if you're gonna buy a banner, you might want to think about that too.
Yeah, I did, but it's like we gonna need something though.
We do.
Like it sucks to buy something and then have to rebrand and have to buy something
That's true.
again. But we definitely need something to get out there.
We do
now. So
we can work through the rebranding process now and shoot to unroll it beginning next year as the new grant cycle begins, because we're already in the middle of this grant cycle.
That's true.
kind of the initiative we can use.
I like that.
A rebrand and reimage to start the new year off, as opposed in the middle of the grant cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with Dakota that it's outdated with the logo. Everything's outdated with the urban enterprise. With this, we can look to do something different. But I think in the time, I still believe we're all fully capable. All could bring our own expertise to all these different issues facing the program. That we can walk and chew gum and get a whole lot done in the time frame. Everybody's here out of labor of love, because $50 doesn't pay for gas right now. So I think there's a lot we can accomplish, get done, working as a collective.
Utilizing our key skills. Like my mind went straight to you. Business. Bring one, teach one. Your face popped up. Same thing.
Even with the brunch with you guys, I just thought the idea, I think, would be a great. Once we look at businesses as they come to the city and look for business, they go through the chamber. Through the
economic development.
Economic development. So do some work in partnership with them, like we see in LaPorte, how they thrive using the same. We don't have to reinvent the wheel with a whole lot of things we're doing. We kind of just incorporate our own thing of it and make the best out of it. And I think this is a great group of people that we can get the job done.
And they would definitely support.
They got one coming up.
They do?
A power brunch at the same spot. This month.
Yeah, they do. It's this month.
It's this month. Yeah, this month.
Oh, I thought we did that already.
Normally get a table, but I'm gonna be out of town, so I don't know if anybody can be there.
They got good food in Canada, though.
Is that March 26th, you mean?
What's the calendar?
Yeah, I think it is.
I know it's this month though.
Yeah.
I know it's on my
plan to
calendar
be there.
somewhere.
I guess we skipped over the finance report. We go to that. It should be on the back of everybody's packet, correct?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
26.
No, go ahead.
The EDC breakfast is March 26th.
I know it's sold out already.
It's sold out already. It's sold out 18 hours. Yeah,
So-
sold out. I'll be there though. I'll be at that one.
Me too.
Oh. Well, y'all got a +1 or you guys gonna handle it? Like you guys
What y'all need us to do? Like what
What y'all want us to tell them?
who we are and what we offer.
We do that anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
Not ma'am. Yeah, that's sold out. Threw me out, call me ma'am.
Just do. I call everybody ma'am and sir.
You can go ahead, Tristan. Sorry.
Anybody have anything else regarding the strategic plan and the committees that were established here today?
Just the other.
Oh, 2 seconds. The thing to add. This is the initiative that I was speaking of that the garden itself can go into, because the Power Brunch brings business. The businesses are required to invest. If that is one of our initiatives, then the businesses can invest. You get what I'm saying? Because our ultimate goal for this brunch is to inform them on the incentive for the new ones and their requirements for the existing ones, and then give them a list of, hey, you want to, hey, go invest in that activity, that activity.
Kind of like the garden project?
Yeah, the garden project.
Do we have to somehow make that a formal initiative? Do we have to vote to say this is a formal initiative that we want businesses to
Once we get to that
invest
point,
in?
right now we're in planning phase. So right now, all we need is, right now we just move forward and get it together as a committee and decide how that looks. And that's when we start implementing, certain agreement standards and things of that nature. But right now it's just us letting the community know that we're rolling out things and activities, and our president is interested in moving forward with certain initiatives, and our board as well. What that entails detailing will come soon.
Any more questions? Hearing none, I omitted and skipped over old business where we have an update from the workforce development from the grant committee with Dakota, Bruce, and Nick. I'm pretty sure I forwarded everybody over the 2 grants. I think they did a real amazing job on. Did a real good job on. We have to formally approve those here in the meeting. The only other thing I suggest is, the only other question I had was to any of you guys, did you guys want to extend the time frame for, since we started it a month later, did you want to extend the time frame for it? Or just keep it still at the closing date of October 31st?
It's our closing date based upon our cycle, though?
I think we need to keep it the same. There's still plenty of time for people to apply.
I got you.
So my question would be, has everybody had an opportunity to look at the drafts that we came up with? And Dakota, I give Dakota a lot of credit for which ones did you, the workforce development and the neighborhood beautification.
He did great. You guys did a great job, like I touched in the email. I thought it was real nice.
I think, everything looked good to me. Everything looked like it was covered. It was spelled out, the guidelines, what it takes to qualify, and what the money can be spent on.
I like the breakout.
But I think, everybody should have input. If there's any changes, anybody would like to see any additions, any omissions, I think everybody on the board should have a say so.
This is on the table for approval tonight.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't print it out.
I know I forwarded it to everybody after you guys sent it. I sent it to everybody.
So I think the only thing, we'd have to put it on official letterhead.
There was one line in there I think needed some information. It was just phone number, address, email, I think. I think it was on the neighborhood one.
Oh, actually, I did have one other question.
Right.
For the workforce development, I'm pretty sure it was for it was for homeowners and just renters, that as long as you lived in the zone, correct?
Right.
So with the neighborhood enrichment, I believe it's the neighborhood enrichment or
I called it
neighborhood and
I think I called them both enhancement.
Neighborhood enhancement.
Workforce enhancement and then neighborhood enhancement.
So was I just want to make sure I believe people and nonprofits were allowed to come ask for a project that they were doing as long as it was inside the zone, correct? I thought I read that.
Applicant, event, or organization name.
So the only thing I was wondering was the only requirement that the event be in the zone, or also the organization had to be located in the zone as well? That's the only thing I was kind of wondering on.
So I have on here eligible projects, enhanced landscaping in public common areas, yard and neighborhood cleanups, construction, rehabilitation of neighborhood entrance signs, exterior painting, repair of distressed properties, any creative projects that fits the guidelines. I guess I should go to the requirements. Project must be within Michigan City Urban Enterprise Zone. A neighborhood group liaison must submit the application. The liaison must oversee the project and submit expenditure records before and after photos are required. Explicitly states that recipients will be chosen without regard race, creed, sex, color, national origin.
Because I was still I thought under under those guys. I thought if a organization wanted to come, they were having like a say they're having like a Women's Day event inside the urban enterprise zone. I just thought that from listening to it again, it sounds like that qualifies as well. I just thought that'd be something that is beneficial as well.
I'd say that would go back to the purpose line, which is to fund neighborhood beautification, encourage neighborhood engagement, financially assist community nonprofit social events within the Michigan City Urban Enterprise Zone, promote visitors to retail areas, or improve quality of life for zone residents. So I think that would be the financially assist community nonprofit social events.
That's what we're approving today.
Any more questions from everybody from the board regarding to the grant committee?
Only two things that I see that probably need consideration is I have it listed in there, funding for neighborhoods. I have grants of 500. I probably should say up to 500.
See, that makes more sense. I thought they were all 500.
I think probably should say up to. I mean, we don't want to just.
No, I mean it was still a good idea. Keep them at the lower basis.
And I believe the workforce is the same. It says grants of $1,000, and I think it should be
Up to.
up to.
To cover costs, yeah.
And the only other change that I would see is on the application of both. It says, please return the complete application to MCUEA blank. Have those areas filled in with phone numbers, emails, and PO box. Those are the only changes that I would foresee.
I have a question, and it's not even it's not a question, it's more of an addition. Can we add that they submit a impact story? Like, it'll pretty much tell what
I think they should have to come back after
and present.
I mean, but I guess that only works if they come for an event, because let's say 90-year-old Miss Jones comes for neighborhood beautification. She wants to get her yard done, and we approve to get her grass cut numerous times throughout the summer. We really gonna ask her to come back and say, "Oh, yeah, I got my grass cut." So I think it should only go pertaining to if we give this towards an event that's happening, not necessarily just a neighborhood cleanup project.
Or maybe at the end of the year they come and tell us how, for something like that. It's Ms. Jones can come at the end of the year and thank us because she's gonna try to get it again for the next one. Just Ms. Jones coming in talking.
Maybe we invite them to do it.
I think an invitation would be good too. Yeah, like the business. I don't know. I see what you're saying with Ms. Jones, but I see what you're saying too, where it's like you're gonna keep asking for it. I would like to see it.
No, I get exactly what he means as far as, and then we may not even get Ms. Jones.
For sure.
Ms. Jones not a real person.
I'm not sure who she is.
Ms. Jones not a real person. But no, just trying to figure out some key performance matrix, how we measure our, success. Those conversations, all of that is data. And all of that is needed for going into the next phase, because ultimately we want to apply for funding. Now, that's my thing, right? And in order for funding, the data has to be there. I have to have a projection to prove that this is a necessity. So trying to get those data sources, and she's not the only way of gathering the data. These actual events, maybe they should take a survey or something. For each event, at your event, you have to have everybody complete this survey, or something simple just to gather enough information.
It gives us an opportunity to present ourselves too.
It is.
I guess I think just thinking towards the end of the grant cycle, I think we should look to make sure, if we go after every project is completed, we got before and after, even if it's just the yard work, or how the event went. If we make a brochure or PowerPoint or something to present, because I know we're behind on presenting to the council on the work that we've done. So that way we got tangible information as we go along. Because right now, just earlier we was looking through the file of all the grants we approved last year, where we didn't get pictures of before and after. That way we have we can fully tell a story as opposed to just pictures telling amazing story. We can fully tell a story of everything that's going on, what's going on completely. So
I think we need to track it for budget. For consistency
That is true.
Each year, and Bruce and I have talked about that in Dakota, when we're coming up with these budgets for these grants that we're creating,
KPIs.
right now we're just pulling numbers out of there, right? So we need to be able to track it and see how effective it is.
Yeah, that's how we identify the KPI, with key performance indicators. And that way it'll help us project, hey, this year we did X, Y, and Z business grants, but we had a uptick in workforce development. That letting us know what the community needs. And we ran out of workforce development funds,
Exactly.
right? Quick. 18 hours, right? So that helps us identify what grants were successful and maybe what grants we should tailor back because they're not utilizing them. How do we impact?
Exactly.
That's all I have.
well, only thing I would like to throw out is that the $254,687.70 is the actual excluding the invoices that's going out for I think for $1,500 today. I don't think you have any more payments going out. I just want to let it.
It just reminded me of, I'm sorry. Keep going, but I need my money back from that phone.
Oh yeah, in the purchasing of the phone, they wouldn't accept the Horizon card that we have. So she was great and paid for it using her own money. So she was looking for a reimbursement back from the board for the phone for the phone's right here actually.
No, it's not. This is mine.
Well,
The phone, we just got it today. But yeah, it was a big issue.
I
went
moved
over
that we
to
cover the payment of the phone because it's not her responsibility and we've already had phone issues. So the phone is here, it's gotten,
That's second time.
yeah.
okay.
Wrong film.
Do you have an amount with that or?
Yeah,
She's
I have
looking it
the
up. Okay.
receipt here. So I literally almost.
I remember you told me and I forgot all about it. I apologize.
There's got to be a receipt, but it was a headache trying to get it through the
Yeah.
business
Why
card,
didn't you
and I was over.
They didn't want to accept the card?
Yeah.
No,
Won't accept
it
it.
was too
What
much.
kind of logo on it?
It's the amount. It was like a scam thing because even when I tried to pay with my own card, my bank declined it at first too, and then they texted me like, "Hey, is this?"
Yeah, you gotta let them know.
Yeah, so
We was having a meeting today, that would've waited.
Yeah, with it. I'll be back tomorrow.
I'll bring you a check, Pam.
So we need a motion once we get the
The
amount.
price, yeah. So I'll redo the motion once we get the price.
okay, 1 second.
But this phone journey, y'all,
Yeah, it went all the way over to Valpo too, and they're like, "No, you can't do nothing." Okay, so it is $855.99, please.
What do we
do
do?
wait.
Does the phone with for Verizon?
Yeah.
For
What?
phone for what?
For what? I'm sorry. Let's go
Phone
back
for her.
for her. Okay, so we did.
She couldn't get a cell phone?
We
That's what
did.
she got.
Yeah, she
We
did.
bought the phone.
Bought the phone.
That's
outright.
equipment price. That,
No, that's yes, and that's what we voted on.
Mhm.
We voted.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I
I
wanted to
didn't
stop
just-
y'all.
Go shopping.
We voted to buy the. We voted to
That
right.
is.
Am I mistaken?
no, I don't know. It's all,
What I have here is a Verizon. At this time, it was total due today with tax was $883.
Mm-hmm.
And 84 that was tax. So $899.
Give her money.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's 800.
No, we're talking about the quote.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. So
You're within that, so.
She paid $855.99. I mean,
That's
she did-
yeah.
So make the motion.
Oh, I move. Sorry, I move that we approve the reimbursement of $855 or
99
cents, $856.
$854.99.
second.
And to $854.99 for the phone that was approved previously for a equal or around the same amount price.
I got a motion in 2 seconds. Any more discussion?
I would just say, I also want to get a OtterBox for it, because
Did we pay taxes on that? We did?
I don't, oh yeah, it says sell tax,
How much?
$56.
Okay, so we're gonna submit that, because, we'll retro act this because it's for you. We don't pay taxes. We're not allowed to. We're not.
And it's a, oh.
And I'll get you the taxes in for them.
Okay. So how much do I send myself back?
You get the whole thing.
You get the whole
Yeah, you'll get it all.
And you
back.
just saying, okay, and then I need to do the form.
So we got a motion in a second. Everybody, did I already call for the vote? Oh, I'm sorry. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes to reimburse the executive assistant for paying for the phone. And you said something about an OtterBox?
Yeah, because you can't, man, I don't play around like that.
I think it's to cover the investment.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I move that.
we'll make a motion that you can buy OtterBox.
40, 50 bucks.
Yeah, that do not exceed
$60.
$60.
$60.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I have a
I would
screensaver
have
with
had
that.
him do
Screen
it, but
protector.
it was out of stock the day that we were finalizing the thing, so.
It's okay, don't pay your money for that.
I'm sorry, I forgot all about that.
Don't not
Me
pay your money.
too, like,
I think
like
last.
it ain't missing. It's like it's not, like I ain't feel it. Like, so wait,
You was
wait.
nice about that. I would have been calling Tristan every day.
Don't call me. Last item of business is the month of March, or it should be month of March, February's finance report. CLH, I believe, a part of the contract we have with them, they do quarterly QuickBooks what is it called?
Reconciliation?
Reconciliation. So that came out last month. The Chamber of Commerce invoice that we voted and approved for the yearly month PO box, $72 is on there. The board stipend payments, it is a little higher. Mr. Conley, we waited a while to get his information, so he all had to be paid at one time.
Yeah, work my wow, man.
You know he needed his.
And the office supplies is we finally got the chair for put the chair together the day of our meeting. She got a chair. We also have 3 desks in there that came with the office, like you're in high school all over again.
Yeah. And my stuff was falling off the desk.
I think that's everything that's on there.
I did have one question, just looking back, from balance on 131 to the balance on 31. Just 'cause I've been keeping records, trying to see. I see a difference of like with the 100,000 moved of like 9,000, and so I'm a little confused. If you could help me find that afterwards.
I know that this was the first month that the board stipend payments was placed on there. They kept being overlooked, and there might be some. I mean, we pull up the bank statements that come every month. That's no problem.
Okay. And then I never got November, I don't think, so I find November somewhere. I'd like to see that too.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Are we going to vote on the workforce enhancement grant and the neighborhood enhancement
Oh,
grant
we skipped over those.
with the changes?
For the changes.
I don't remember.
Maybe
Did
you
you
want
write
to
that?
table it until the next meeting so everybody has a chance to, if they have not
Yeah, we
already.
table it, let them correct it, then come back with.
I mean, they can be approved with the corrections without having to table.
You wrote down.
She wrote down what the corrections were. So, do I have a motion to approve the neighborhood and workforce development grants with the corrections?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion in 2 seconds. Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, any opposed? Motion passes for the workforce development and neighborhood improvement grants. I think that is next thing on our item. Next thing on the agenda is public comment. Seeing that there's no one here from the public except the cameraman, if he doesn't have anything, we'll close public comment. We'll go down to director's comment. Anybody from the board?
I have a comment. I think that we need to, I don't know how to say this. The business finance portion, because as the executive assistant knows, we're working through standard operating procedures. We need to figure out how to move forward. She cannot pay herself. That has to change. We have to figure out the business person. Is he gonna do it? Or is he not gonna do it? I don't know how y'all wanna address that, but we're going to, in her contract, there's no finance, that portion. Remember, we took that out. That was the biggest part to take out, that she wasn't supposed to be in control of that portion. So to put in place checks and or balances, it's important for there to be the business person to do the business person job.
So, so do we want to go to writing hand checks for the two monthly payments she received? Because right now, I know all the board payments are issued through the QuickBooks account.
No, she can still get QuickBooks. She just needs to be, he needs to be in control of QuickBooks. We took the finance. She should not have to deal with QuickBooks because we took that portion out of her contract, out of the agreement.
The treasurer should be.
The treasurer.
Yes. Is Jim still a treasurer?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, yo.
So, but that's not gonna.
This man's hands. I only saw him once.
That's but we.
How about an automatic? Can it be like a?
It can, but it can't because of thing of your hourly and contracted, right? So, but the thing is, and y'all, we can figure out. We can vote on it. Y'all can make the decision that y'all so choose. This is what got us where we are. We need to protect her, and we need to protect ourselves as well moving forward. So if he gonna do the treasury, all for it. But if he ain't, maybe having that conversation. It's hard. I'm fine with it. Volunteer. Me, don't care. But we that position needs to be handled because.
So are you volunteering to take over QuickBooks until?
Oh no. What I said, have that conversation. I said that's a hard conversation. I called Jim.
What's easier? Write your check out or Jim?
Who's Jim?
Well, you still need 2 signatures. That's the
You
whole
need 2
problem.
signatures with a check.
Sure.
That's why I think I really wish we go towards just EFT payments and get rid of checks.
Yeah, because I ain't got time.
That makes it easy.
I ain't got time to be like,
Right. And if
this
somebody
person,
and if he
looking
just
for this
initiate her payments, then it'll be taken care of. He needs to initiate her payments and monitor QuickBooks and
So that'd be something I guess to have a conversation with him about then.
Yes, yeah, correct. So what are we gonna do in the time being now?
Is there any way to like schedule, like I'll make sure to not go over so that there isn't any additional, at least until you guys get it figured out, but like is there a way to like put it on like automatic?
maybe appoint an assistant treasurer.
That's what I was.
I was gonna allude to Nick, honestly, but I know Nick's busy in Canada. But that's where I was gonna go next on my next comment. I know we've had a conversation before. I know you're pretty versed with QuickBooks.
That was,
Yeah.
Essentially be handling the.
and it's
board
virtual. You can be in Canada
Right. It's all the internet.
because it ain't me.
So it's at the pleasure of you, essentially. It's at the pleasure of the board. My recommendation is Nick. I think Nick's the great guy for the job. Until we get something more fully squared away. I know everybody has other outside obligations, other outside opportunities, but
Yeah.
You want me to pass that motion? You want me? I move that Nick be the assistant. Is it business person treasurer? What's his? Okay, it's the assistant treasurer for the Urban Enterprise Association in the absence of the treasurer.
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Sorry.
passes. So we can get you the. I'm sorry. I tried to say that.
And I apologize, y'all, but
Any more directors' comments?
I've noticed that we've gotten into a habit of putting old business underneath the new business again. Usually with Robert Rules of Order, old business becomes before new business. So moving forward, if we could bring that back up to the top. And then additionally, I appreciate having time to review applications and not having everything in front of me 10 minutes before the meeting. So if we can get in the practice of having packets sent. I know there's like the idea of some information that we need to retract or whatever, but at least some of the quotes or whatever moving forward would be appreciated.
I think I know this week she was busy and the first time meeting. I think we should show her some grace, and essentially where
It's the first meeting.
It was her first meeting where not down her throat because she didn't get it out as fast as you wanted to get it out. But I think show her a little grace. And I spoke to her today. She's gonna try to have it out a week before.
And she didn't even know what needed to go out. Let's be transparent. I had the flu. He was sick.
Yeah.
None of us talked to her. We got it. You got it.
No, understandable, just moving forward. I
Yeah,
think that's why we had the submission dates,
Yeah.
to give us that time to be able to get the stuff.
Yeah,
shipped.
The goal is
We'll get it all
one
down.
week
Yeah.
before the meeting.
And she wouldn't have known because who came up with this admission dates? Sick Sylvia. So do apologize, but yeah, I ain't gonna blame her. And then we-
My other question was going to be with the payroll for Kamisha, the time log, is that still part of the contract and everything? So will that be presented moving forward, or?
I can like present like what I've been doing, but as far as like a time log, I just don't see how I don't see how that could even work because I don't know.
Do you allocate a certain amount of time per day, or is it just spontaneous?
I have the allocated office hours, but then I'm
still taking calls.
Yeah, taking calls and
Like
coming up with ideas or having
Like, I know-
conversations.
I know this week she worked Saturday and Sunday. 5 hours
Yeah, it's
workday,
like
so
I was at church.
I think maybe me, you, and Nick, especially since he's gonna be handling the QuickBooks with the payment, we can sit down and establish exactly the easiest, the most beneficial way.
QuickBooks gotta clock in and clock out, right? Am I
Not that
mind?
I've ever used, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. But I mean, I don't know. That could be
ADP.
yeah, something. If that's
Yeah,
another subscription. Let's look at let's look at QuickBooks.
Yeah, and then like I said, if I'm having like a conversation with somebody on the phone, like in my hold on, let me like I don't know.
Well, also, Matt, I would just cut your time off. You want to be able to. You gonna have they call that phone. You call them back during your office hours.
Got it.
You don't take home work with you. You got a kid. That's your
Can we
child.
get your office hours again?
So Monday, 9 to 2. Wednesday, doing 12 to 5, and then Friday 9 to 2, and then
The reason I brought that up, I wanted to raise is I know, especially with community outreach and speaking at the church, speaking at different events, we're asking her now. Essentially, last week she worked more hours than essentially that we contracted her for. So I don't know. I know this week you have some appointments coming up from those interactions with constituents coming in to fill out applications. So I think we should kind of look to giving her some leave, especially if she's gonna be doing an event on a Saturday or Sunday. We should look to maybe adjust where she's not in the office Monday, because with the last time she's still able to work from home. Just that now that we're not asking her to do more than we're actually paying her to do for at the same time. I feel like that's a fair way to look and approach.
I want to reinforce your point. I think it's a matter of prudence, in terms of us not. I'm rephrasing what you said.
I got you.
We don't want Kamisha to feel like she has to come and say, I feel like we got to put up this whole chart of the hours I'm working, what you paid me for. We want to avoid that.
Correct.
Right.
At the same time, we gotta keep in mind of the previous executive director and the time that was not being put in, but yet she was still being compensated. So that you gotta understand why
Checks
we're
and
gonna-
balances.
I don't
Yeah.
mind.
We're gun shy
like-
is what you're saying.
At the end of the day, it's
Yeah,
like, you know what, I spent an hour here.
Or think of it like this. It's like this week, right? You worked over your hours, right? Now you don't work Monday.
Right.
And
There's also
then
only
if you
15
have a,
hours in the office and 14 hours outside the office, right, for outreach?
right,
Yeah,
So, yeah,
and church is
right.
long.
Cause you know you going to church this Sunday. You know you're going this Sunday. That's 3 to 4 hours.
Mhm. And I don't mind like presenting something at each like meeting, kind of like an overview if you guys need to see like what I've been doing. But as far as like,
I think that's kind of what Dakota was angling for.
Yeah.
He was
Okay.
anticipating you to do.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just went off what I read in the contract. That's,
Yeah,
That's why I said. That's why I said.
Just a review of what you've done.
Megan, so next time, just well, I would suggest you write an exactly report. You detail us how you met with, where you spent your time at. I think that'll suffice for everybody on the board, correct?
That's good. And I think
Yeah, that was on my
I could
list.
use it at the end of
this my yo list.
the year too, when I say, hey, can I have more money? This is what I've done. Like it's so.
There you go.
Ambitious, aren't they?
Yeah.
Any more?
Mr. President.
Any more directors' comments? Hearing none, I'll call. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Good night.